visiting Yaya Gifts. Today we're going to make this 8x8 chipboard album kit by the Pineconepress. Hello there. So this is the kit. It comes with a lot of things. First of all, let's check the instructions that come with it. It is really nice, it's really colorful, and it tells you how to cut the pages, how to arrange the items on the pages. It's really easy to follow. It has here all the things, but let's continue with this kit. So it has lace, and it has beautiful ribbons, and let's see, it has cardstock, it has the album, the binder, and also a lot of colorful papers with pictures, and some of them are for the backgrounds. Okay, they're really cute. So first, let's see here. It tells you which pictures goes in which page, and it tells you that at the cover page you get the big picture there on the top, and then so forth. So let's go here, and it tells you where the flaps go, how to cut them, where to fold, where to place the ribbon, and here in the back it tells you how to do a pocket. That's the pocket. Another flap page, and how to finish the album. So let's begin with the cover. So let's cut the main photo for the cover, and let's do it very close to the edge of the frame, so we can use the leftovers for other ornaments and stuff, embellishments. Okay, so this should go here. It fits really good. So far so good. So now let's do the background paper for the top cover. So it says that it should be an 8x8 piece of paper, so let's cut it. It's really nice to know that all the instructions are there with all the sizes that we need. So here we go. Look at this. It's starting to look. So it suggests to use ink, stain, or paint on the edges. So let's try this ink. So putting it straight, it will look like this. So now let me show you how it will look if you use a sponge and ink. So let's see. It looks kind of washed thingy, so I don't like it very much. So let's use the paint. So here's the paint, and let's do it on the edges. Okay, and let's see how it looks. I like it. It shows through. So the instructions said that paint all the edges and all the ribs of the spine, also both inside and the outside side of the spine. So we're gonna go with that. After we're done and it's dry, don't worry if you're not in the lines or you made a little mess. It's okay. It's not gonna show. Okay, so I did the spine in the outside, and let me open it, and I did it in the inside as well. Okay, so now we are ready to put our photo on the top. So I'm gonna glue here. So first I'm gonna do my 8x8 piece of paper, and for this I'm going to use a decoupage glue. You can use anything you want to glue. I like the decoupage glue. It takes a little bit longer to dry. Since it's chipboard and paper, I'd rather use this decoupage kind of glues. So let's do it. I use a foam brush, and let's make it fast. Okay, so the paper won't absorb the glue that fast, so we need to make it really fast. So I forgot, we need to put the ribbon before we do any gluing. So just place the ribbon in the middle of the page, and it suggests you to attach it with a Scotch tape. Since I already put my glue, I will keep it like that. So let's keep gluing. If you need to put more glue, add it, and be sure to press it down so all the bubbles will go away. So now we're ready to put our main photo. It's over there. So again, I'm going to use my glue and glue it on top of it, and remember to squeeze it so all the bubbles will come out and you won't get any wrinkles. Okay, so now we're done with that part. Now we need to do the same thing for the inside of the cover page, and again use the glue and glue it on. So let's do it for the front and the cover pages. Okay, so now we're done. We did here, we put the background pages on there. Let's be sure that it's really well put on, and the ribbons are all in place. So now let's decorate the back of the cover, or yeah, the back cover, the back of the front cover. So that's the suggestion. So I like to use ink to on the edges of just regular blank cardstock, and then also it has to put a ribbon in it. So I'm gonna make just a simple knot of one of the ribbons that came with it, and if you want you can make a bow. Okay, this is my election, just to make a simple knot. Cut it, and once you have all the elements of the page the way you want them to be, you proceed and glue them all. Okay, so let's glue them all. After we're done, let's continue with the back cover, inside back cover. Okay, so it suggests to make like a bow that is holding picture frames, so that's what I'm trying to do here. So I'm gonna do my bow, glue it with glue dots. That's easier for me. And now I'm gonna do the strips of the bow, or the ribbon, sorry, to put my pictures on that. Do the adjustments that you need to make so it will look the way you want. And again, I'm gonna use my glue dots to attach the ribbon on the paper, and then I proceed and I glue the frames. They're starting to look really cute. Look at those, they're really beautiful, and the quality of the printing is really good. Okay, so now I'm done gluing the insides of the front and the back cover. Okay, and the back cover doesn't need anything, just plain. Okay, look how pretty it's starting to look. Yeah, you let it dry, and let's move on with the next step. So it comes with 5 pieces of cardstock cut. Let's call them guides for the pages. So what I'm using them is to glue page 1 and page 2 in one of those things, or guides. Okay, so let's see how it works. So I glued my background paper on the first guide, let's say, and it has to make a flap, and all the flaps will go with the same rule, 1/4 at the edge of where you want the flap to be. In the back of each flap, I'm putting some cardstock, so that's where I want my photos to be later on when I gather them all together. Okay, so place where you want them to be, glue them, glue all the pieces where you want them to be. And then what happened here is that I should have glued the flap with the background paper, which I forgot. But I'm glad that I didn't put any paper on the other side. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just glue this flap on the guide page. Okay, straight on the guide page. Let's see where we want to place that flap. There we go. Give it a squeeze. You can use any glue you want. I just like this liquid glue, because I can move these things before they really get stuck. Don't open it, don't attempt to open it, let it dry. So now let's do the other side of the first page guide. Okay, so I want that frame, but the picture doesn't look good there. So what I did, I put a piece of white cardstock on that, and then I did another cardstock in the back, inked it, and then made a flap with it. Remember, 1/4 inch from the place that you want to open and close the flap. Whew, a lot of talking here. Okay, so now I'm gonna glue this. I want it to be aligned with the other flap, so I will just put it just like that, glue it in there. Be sure that my glue stays. At this point, if you want, you can use a tape glue or glue tape. Okay, so here we go. Now I will let it sit for a little bit. I'm gonna glue my other background page or paper and place it, and now I have it. So now let's put the other pieces and glue them, and this is something important. So let's be sure that we do all our hole punches before we put the second page on. So that will be as a guide for us. I will show you in the next step. So let's put all the pieces wherever they go. Let's put bows, with ribbon. Let's put other blank pages and stuff. So now we have page 1 and page 2. Okay, so now again let's do the punches, and we got it. It's starting to look really cute. Look at this. Okay, so now let's move on. So now it's page 3. So page 3 has a little flap there. So let's put the glue here, and again I forgot the flap, but now let's do the flap on the paper. That's the best way to go. Do the flap part on the paper, not on the guide like I did before. And if you need more glue, add more glue, and if you have tape glue, great, you will need more glue. Okay, so now we have that, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue my background page on the guide page. Okay, so we have the flap. We let's be sure that all the pieces are in the place we want, and put the ribbons where we want, and the bows and anything you want. Okay, and now remember, before we do the other page, before we other glue the other page on the guide, let's do the holes. So now what happened here is that I didn't have enough space to do that, so be sure that all your pieces align in such a way that you won't need to move it later. Okay, so now let's do the other page. So that will be page 4, and page 4 doesn't need a flap, so we just go straight and glue it on, put all the pieces together, the ribbons and stuff. Okay, let's make bows, let's glue, and there we go. So where all those white spaces are where my photo is going to be, or journaling. Okay, there we go. So now again let's punch and punch. So now we have the 2 other pages finished. They're starting to look, I like it. Let's move on. So for page 5 we need a flap, so let's arrange all the things the way we want them. Ink where you want to ink before you glue anything. Okay, and let's see, I want them to look just like this. Okay, and my flap, so again 1/4 of an inch where the folding part is going to be. So this time I'm gonna do it a different way. I'm gonna do all the parts first, and here's a ribbon that it seems that it's holding all those picture frames. Okay, glue them, and now let's do the flap part, and again let's glue it on the page, and there we go. Now we're going to locate our guide page. Okay, so be sure that the holes of the guide page are on the opposite side of the flap. A couple of times I almost did glue on the wrong side, so that's for what I learned from here. Now we do the punch holes, and then we go. Now let's do the other page. Let's see, so here it's the pocket page. Okay, so we follow the instructions how to cut the papers. We're going to add glue only at 3 of the edges of that dark paper to make the pocket. Okay, and now we have 2 pieces of cardstock with those leftovers from the first page that we cut the big frame. I cut those 2 pages, or sorry, those 2 strips of paper to embellish those cardstock. Okay, so glue them on, and then after that I would like to put the ribbon, so just a simple knot. That's what I'm going to do again, and there we go. Let's do the other one, and there we go, cut it, and now we have this ready. Okay, So now look at this. Now I have my pocket page. There goes one card and then the other one. So let's put it on the guide page. So what happened here is that I did it in the wrong way. It should go like this, but the paper is not big enough, so I will have to turn it. And it's okay as long as it works with the Biden rings, it's fine. So I'm gonna do it the other way and see first if it's gonna work. It is going to work. So now let's go glue it. Okay, be sure that it's aligned with the edges. Let's put some embellishment with some leftover paper from the other cuts we had. There we go. And now let's punch. And now let's put our cards. And you see they are barely good, that they fit really well, and it's not gonna mess up with the binder. There we go. Open and close. That's really cute. So the next page, it's gonna be with a flap. This time the flap is not gonna be a landscape, it's gonna be a portrait flap. So let's see, let's put all the elements on. Okay, and glue or put your ribbon bows with glue dots if you want. And now let's do the flap part. Be sure that it's really glued, and done. That one is another flap, so I already folded, and let's move on. So let's place the pieces where you want them to go. At this point I'm just following the instructions, okay? I'm not doing anything different from the instructions, just in case. So let's place the ribbon. Let's put the blank piece of cardstock in the back of the flap part. Let's glue it on the paper, and ready. So now we're gonna glue this on the guide paper. You see, I was almost going to glue the wrong flap or the wrong side of the flap on the guide page. There we go. So now we're gonna glue it and place it on top of the guide page, and then we're gonna do the punch holes, and that's it. Let's do the same thing for the other page. Put them in, glue it, punch the holes, and done. Ready. So now let's move on. Page 9. So our page 9 doesn't have any flaps, so this is going to be easier to do. So we just place all the embellishments in place, the paper, the printed paper, and our ribbons or bows. There we go. Please work. Thank you. And now here we go. And again, let's do our page 10. Let's put all the elements on it and glue them on. Okay. Yeah, this is a very nice way to work on something for souvenir for somebody that we love very much and stuff. So let's glue our page 9 first. And now let me show you what I did. I glued the elements on the wrong side of the page. So no problem, just glue it on your guide page. Cut the excess that you may have in case this happens to you. Okay, I'm just showing you my boo-boos too. Okay, so now you can see that there's some edges that are kind of blank. Let me make the holes first. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ink those edges that are showing there. Okay, I'm going to use my brown distress ink, and with a sponge I will ink all around the edges, so I will have like a shadowing effect on all my page, so it will look as part of the album instructions. There we go, and done. Great. So now my boo-boo is covered. So now let's gather all the pages together and let's put them on the binder. So first what we need to do is to get the binder on the spine of the album. It's easy, you just remove the adhesive protector from it. Just be sure that the binder goes very centered. You can measure it or you just can eyeball it like I did. So push it down, open it, and now we're ready to place the pages. So I go from 10 to 9 and then I put the 7, 8, and then I'm gonna put the 5, 6. There we go. Work. Okay. Then I'm gonna put 3, 4, and now 1 and 2. There we go. Close it, and now we have it. Look at this. So now let's continue with finishing the touches or the final touches for that. So we have that lace or ribbon that looks like lace, and we want to make a bow. Okay, so I'm not very good at bows. It takes a long time for me to reach the goal of my bow. So let's see. You see, I don't like this, so I'm gonna make it. So let me make it more simple. I will just make a regular simple knot. Okay, and then just like that, let me arrange it so you can have the idea of what it suggests you to do. And before we do the bow at the edge, let's look at this album a little bit. Let's see how it works. Look, I like this so much. So look at the flap part, and all the blank spaces again are for photos or journaling. I'm making this album for somebody very special in my life, so I want to put more of her photos in there. Look at that, all the pages, all the ornaments, and that's it. So now let's make a bow. And again, I'm not so good at this, so please bear with me. Have patience, and if it doesn't look really good, don't worry. You can do as many times and practice on that as many times as you want. So I'm gonna leave it just like that for you to get the idea of how this should be done, okay, according to the instructions. Well, and that's it. Thank you so much. Don't forget to give us a like in Facebook. You can find us as Yaya Gifts 1. Also subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us, and stop by again. Bye.